Viewer discretion advised.
Hello everyone, welcome back to my freak show. Let's review episode 6 of American Horror Story 1984, titled Episode 100. Now don't forget, when you're done with the episode, be kind, rewind. And don't forget to check out my website, www.mariannemoody.us, where you can purchase my novels and read my horror shorts, and you can purchase them online, such as places like Barnes & Nobles, Amazon, go for it. Now, this episode starts in the year 1985, and with something I've been curious about since the ending of the last episode. Benjamin spared Xavier's life, but he sold his soul to Satan. I wondered how long it would take for that choice to catch up to that kind soul. It seems that Brooke and Benjamin's storylines parallel one another, where Benjamin sold his soul and Brooke refused. But, I'll get to that part of the story later. Our favorite bros are not at the Hotel Cortez, but it would have been nice to see a reference to it, like when Ramirez lights a cigarette. Maybe the matchbook could have been from the Cortez, but I digress. Myself and many, many more were hoping for a hotel connection, but we didn't get it in this episode, which is fine. It's totally fine. Ramirez is captured in the show pretty much the same way he was captured in real life. Now that's what I call community spirit, beating a serial killer to REO Speedwagon. Loud, I love the way the writers place the irony in this show. Side note, Ramirez knew it was Benjamin who basically alerted all those people to him, which will come back to slit his wife's throat soon. Now back at the camp, Montana and Xavier are killin' and chillin', while Ray is the only moral compass in the place. And we see some of the ghost counselors watching nearby, showing us that those who die in the cabins are stuck on the property just like those who are killed outside. My favorite part of the entire episode was every time Margaret was on screen. Her lifestyles of the rich and famous expose, and just really quickly, by the way, am I the only one who thinks that Margaret sold her soul to Satan, possibly long before she opened Camp Redwood? She mentioned in episode 6 that the darkness still whispers to her, which is something Ramirez says often about Satan. Now, her house, clothing, her style, all of it was so freaking 80s. I just ate all of that shit up and swam in a pool of admiration while watching those scenes. We discover that Trevor survived Margaret's attempt to kill him, blackmailed her for money, and she makes him in exchange marry her so he can't testify her if ever called. They have this hot hate sex, and our queen Leslie Jordan enters to tell Margaret that Brooke has been sentenced to death. Now this isn't the last time Leslie Jordan is actually in this episode, and he will return for next episode, and I quite enjoyed having him back. Now speaking of Brooke, she's a dead Chanel walking and is ironically imprisoned with Ramirez in the same prison. Ironically, this is a basically slow burn storyline that I really fucking hated at first, but upon seeing it through the second watch and some reflection, I see the point Ryan and Brad were trying to make here. I theorized on a live stream previously that Brooke sells her soul to Satan to get out of jail. And in this episode, she has the opportunity to sell her soul to Satan. But she tells him to fuck off and gives Satan the finger. Fuck yeah, Brooke, a girl after my own heart. You rock on, girl.
Fuck off.
Now again, her story is parallel to Benjamin, but she made the other choice. So I guess in a way she told God and Satan to go fuck off, but that's neither here nor there. The point is, Satan's gotta be pissed about that no sale on Brooke's soul. Now back at Margaret's swanky mansion that is highly reminiscent of a house I spent the weekend once with Bernie, she's exploiting the fuck out of those terrible tragedies while simultaneously exploiting the new murders occurring at Camp Redwood. Don't forget that's by Xavier in Montana. Damn, Margaret is fucking Trump gangster in this episode. Now, at Benjamin's house in Alaska, now that he's free of Ramirez, he has a new name and married to a gorgeous woman with a small son. His wife is a former prostitute and does know about his past. Damn, dude, I am so happy that Benjamin found someone that could sympathize with him in his past and be a true companion that this man desperately needs. Benjamin is even so much at peace with his life that it doesn't even faze him when he sees Margaret on TV exploiting the shit out of Camp Redwood with the music festival. When Ramirez sees the flyer for the concert at Camp Redwood, he suddenly has an existential crisis where he feels that he has to be immortal and not just someone referenced to in pop culture history. Which I have to say, Satan helped Ramirez out much more than he ever did Michael, his own son. But then again, Ramirez never whined like a little bitch like Michael did. Anyway, at Brooke's execution, she basically tells Margaret that she knows that she's there to watch her die and to go fuck herself before being executed by lethal injection by this weird cooperative looking person. Now, at the same time, a demon possesses a guard to allow Ramirez's escape. Don't argue with me in the comments, guys. You can arguably say that was Satan, but I don't think Satan does the dirty work himself. He's like Negan. He sends other people to do his work. Love you, Tammy Sifford. I guess no wonder Michael bitched all the time, saying, "God, Dad, why don't you love me?" Over at Donald's house, aka Mr. Jingles, he comes home from a hard day at the video store to find his wife's throat cut and his baby alive in the closet. That was some hard shit, guys. A Camp Redwood music festival with the words "Satan will have his blood" written in blood is on the back of the music festival slip and is left behind with the kid. So obviously Benjamin knows that it's Ramirez, so he leaves his son, Bobby, with his wife's sister and heads for the camp with a pair of keys jingling at his side. And the episode closes with Frida revealing her identity as the one behind the mask at the execution and resurrects Brooke from death. Now, next week, Dylan McDermott is back, and this time I'm guessing he's playing a killer in the making on his way to the festival to get his murder kicks from the place, that had very much happened. Now, a year after her execution, Frida convinces Brooke to go back to the camp, which she does, and the ghosts of the camp take their revenge on Benjamin. Courtney is living his inner Chanel, and Frida is more than likely executed. So to sum up my opinion for this episode, I liked it because they referenced every season of AHS in this episode, and I'll make a separate video explaining that, but for the most part, I expected much more out of the 100th episode that I simply didn't get. Perhaps if the show hadn't hyped up the 100th episode, I wouldn't have had my expectations so high. A viewer sent me an article on Ryan Murphy talking his favorite episodes from every season to celebrate the 100th episode, and I wish the show would have done something like that instead. Maybe put on a social media clip of Ryan and Brad explaining the hardships that they had whilst making season 1, the script, how they got it on air, maybe them explaining their favorite moments or characters. Something like that would have impressed the shit out of me. Now, to say this was the 100th episode, hence special, then to don't really make it special, it disappointed me. It's almost like the writers realized this was the 100th episode after they wrote the script for the episode. Now, that being said, I still enjoyed it and rate it at an 8.5. The writers advanced the characters, and they gave us answers to some great, well thought out fan theories. We only went forward in this episode, which is nice and appreciated in my opinion. We didn't go back like we have been doing in the past 5 episodes. And if this season ends with a massive slaughter at that music festival, I'm going to call this season the best one ever. Well, I'd have to see Hotel again, and then 1984, and then contemplate the seasons again before I can make that call. But you guys get my point. This season is so good so far that I'm just hoping that it ends just as strongly as it began. So what are your thoughts on the 100th episode? Let me know in the comments. If you liked my review and synopsis, click that like button, which I'm sure you guys won't. Many people hated my opinion, but I don't give a fuck. Or you can take it one step further and become a patron. For only $1, you get exclusive live streams and videos and exclusive look at my content. I'd like to thank some of those patrons, such as Murder Motel, Alicia, Mia, and baby Jalen George, Diana Fitzgerald, Danny Laguerra, Notel Hotel, Irish Melly, Casey Carr, Michael Mullins Wright, Dawn Ford, Ms. Bellatrixa, Jill Post, S. Marks, Lauren Quill, Kelly Ballinger Mountford, Kimberly Broadno, Bianca Spooks, Mike Gedney, Andrew Venom, Kevin Odom, Stephen Wessel, Deep Thinker and Hogwarts Pupil, and of course Debbie Ebby. To become a patron, click on the Patreon link in the description. Beyond the Horror, my unofficial AHS 1984 after show, is giving away American Horror Story Apocalypse on region-free Blu-ray to viewers in the United States and international. So all you have to do to win this is count the kills every episode, multiple and ghosts included, guys, and send me that episode kill list after the season finale. The first person to accurately match my kill count list wins the prize. And don't forget, of course, the AHS Halloween costume contest in my group, The Freaks of AHS on Facebook. Best costumes win $20 Amazon gift cards. There's even a Best Sexy Scathach category. And of course, I'm always making theories, so click that subscribe button to subscribe to my channel. Thank you all so much for watching, and beware of our girl Sexy Scathach this Halloween. You know she's out there to get your ass.
Anticlimactic?
It was a fucking bore is what it was. They really should bring back the guillotine. I would have paid good money to see her head roll.